Hey everyone, I am Bob McCraney. I have been in real estate in Texas since 2003, but I've been working in IT since 1985, if you can count back that far. I have grown up working on websites, and today I want to talk to you about real estate websites, specifically Real Geeks, and how they use their technology for the benefit of the agent and don't hinder the agent. So I have looked at over 40 different IDX solutions. I am a real estate coach. I have coaching clients across the United States, Canada, and the Mexico and the Virgin Islands. I have looked at every sort of website you can think of for real estate, and I want to talk to you about a few things that makes Real Geeks different. Real Geeks allows you to have full access to your SEO capabilities. They let you have access to the meta description and the meta keywords. A lot of the sites I look at don't give you access to keywords. Some SEO people will tell you, well, keywords aren't important. They're old school. Google doesn't look at them. I can tell you Google does look at them because when I change my keywords, they change my rankings. And I will also tell you that if you look at Realtor and Zillow, the two predominant websites in our U.S. market, they're still using keywords. When they put theirs down, I'll put mine down. But a lot of the brands that are out there in the IDX market don't give you these tools. Some of them actually charge you for extra development of extra pages. Real Geeks lets you do unlimited development. I'm going to share my screen here in a second and show you. I don't quite understand why some brands would limit your SEO abilities, except for the fact that then they can sell you Google ads. And if they don't let you do natural SEO or organic SEO, they're going to have a better chance of selling you Google ads to drive traffic to your website. So I want you to think about your website as an open house. If you're running an open house and you go around and you put out open house signs to guide people into your site, those are your keywords. Those open house signs are your keywords. Why would you ever rent those keywords? Why would you ever rent those open house signs? You're going to go to the realtor store, you're going to buy some nice open house signs. Maybe they're branded, maybe they're not. And you're going to put out 20 or 30 signs to your open house every Sunday. Somebody comes along and says, no, I'm sorry, you can't own those signs. You have to rent those from us every week. And so they're going to put the open house signs up for you. Those are your keywords and meta description. If you don't own those signs every week, you're paying extra for those. People drive to your open house based off those signs. They're driving traffic to your website. If you don't own your organic SEO, you're paying somebody for those words every week. Here's what's going to happen. Sally's going to open up her open house and she's going to pay a little bit more for those keywords each week. Your keywords get diminished. She's now the predominant agent. When you depend on keywords, when you depend on Google Ads for your website to drive traffic and you never develop the site organically, you don't own your business. You don't own your business. You're paying somebody else to drive traffic to your website. You're never driving the traffic yourself. So I always want to look at a website organically, and I want to look at the website as an asset you own. Okay, this is something you've developed over time. You spend a lot of time putting in blogs and looking at keywords and writing really good content and providing searches for people that they can look at to find their house quickly. I'm going to share my screen here a little bit. Share screen. I want to talk about basic website development. We have this is my Austin site. This is Austin Best Agent. If you go to the homepage of Austin Best Agent, what you'll see is houses. 120 houses on the homepage, which is something Real Geeks allows us to do. A lot of the other website competitors want to tell you your website should be about you. And yes, you are important, but they're not coming to the website to meet you. They're coming to the website to see houses. It's like going to the gate agent at an airport. You want to give the gate agent your bag, get your boarding pass, and go to TSA. You don't care that her name is Stephanie, that she loves cats. Here's the whole crew of the people she works with. Here's her realtor pose picture with her arms crossed. You don't care about Stephanie. She's a sweet person, but here, take my bag, give me my boarding pass, and get me to TSA. We put ourselves in the way of houses. A lot of the websites I see are all about the person, not about the area. On this site, you'll see on the on the right-hand side, we have outlined as many suburbs as we can come up with for the Austin area. If you click on one of these, let's pick on let's pick on Buda, Texas, which is a great little town I've been to actually. Inside the Buda, Texas site, you'll see not only 120 houses, but you'll see that we've broken down all the different ways we can think of for people to look at houses by price point, by pools, by new construction, by acreages, by 5 acres, by corner lots, cul-de-sac lots, anything we can think of that's accessible in the Austin database that is provided to us, we're going to have that out for display. So let's think about a metaphor here. If you're running a website and you have just this search bar, you don't have anything else, you're literally not providing any service to your client, to your website customer. It's like we run, let's say we run a clothing store, and we're going to put in a nice pair of shirts and trousers in the front window. But when people come into our store to shop, we're going to tell them, hey, your size and color are in the back room. Go in the back room and look in the boxes, pull whatever you want to out of the boxes. Good luck finding your size and color of that nice suit in the window. We don't put anything out on our racks to display. That's silly. Okay. Anytime you send them to this box to look for a house, you're basically telling them to go in the back room and sort for themselves. Why not put all the products out on display and have a variety of sizes and colors out there for people to see? We're going to put every variety of home we can out on display so that Google, who's, by the way, our #1 shopper, Google will see them and put them out there so other people who are typing in, hey, Buda, Texas homes under 400,000, there's a link for that. Is Google more likely to send somebody to a site that has a box that says, good luck finding a home in Buda, Texas for 400,000, or a site that already has a link to find? It's more likely to send to a site that has a link to find. Here's another example. By the way, I run 5 Real Geek sites for myself. I run around 50 Real Geek sites for other people. This is my Delaware site. I'm licensed in Texas, Delaware, and Florida. So this is our Delaware site. Again, we lead with 120 houses on the front page. We want to get people to see homes. They don't care about me at this point. They'll meet me, I'm charming, they'll love me later. Right now, I need them to see what they're looking for, which is houses. I'm going to give them their boarding pass and get them right over to TSA as quickly as possible. But within this site, on the right-hand side again, we have our sidebar. And then within, this is Middletown, Delaware, very nice little town. We are able to pull up a whole lot more out of the Bright MLS, which covers Delaware, than we are out of ABOR, which is the Austin site. So we're able to add more to each of these sites. We're also adding some helpful content on the bottom here about Middleton and what it's like. And so that will help with our algorithmic searches. I'm trying everything I can to get my sites to SEO, okay, to show up in search engines. And I'm also starting to try to get my sites to show up in the AI snippet that's at the top of any search that's available now. A lot of the competing sites don't allow us to do this level of work. There are some sites that will charge you for extra pages. If you have more than 5 or 7 pages, they want to charge you more per month, which is silly. If you're paying more than $300 a month for a website, you're getting ripped off. There are competitors out there that are charging, $800 to $900 a month before ad spend. It makes no sense. And when you look at their SEO rankings, when you look at their organic traffic, it's abysmal. So I like to talk about blinker fluid. If you have a car and you take it in to get your right blinker fixed, you go into the shop and the person behind the counter pulls up a $400 bottle of blinker fluid and says, ma'am, this blinker fluid is so good it fixes the left and the right blinker, and on imports it fixes the blinkers in the backs. $400, can I fix your car? And you don't know a thing about cars, and you go, okay, you trust the resource. Well, it was a 30-cent bulb. They sold you a $400 bottle of nothing and just gave you a 30-cent bulb and charged you a lot of extra money. In IT world, there's a lot of blinker fluid. They're going to say all sorts of buzzwords that they think you may or may not understand. And you're like, I've heard that buzzword before. I don't know much about technology. I should do this. And more expensive sites must be better, right? So the more expensive the site is, the better. No, this is a great running site You can produce organic leads from it, and you own your data. You own your SEO. This is a site that someday, if I develop it further, I could sell to somebody. I could retire from the business and say, here's my lead generating site in this market. I would like to sell this to you for a referral or sell it to you for a set price. I have built this for you. I've reviewed other people's websites, especially there was one lady who in the chat the other day was asking about her site. It's worth nothing because it has no organic traffic. Everybody who signed up on that site came through as a paid lead. I can go get those paid leads brought to me now for much less than she's asking for her site because she never moved into it and made it her own. So let's talk about another element of websites here. Let's talk about how we get traffic. This is a product I'm using called Agency Analytics. It's something that somebody who deals with SEO should have some form of this site. There are competitors for this. On the left-hand side, you're going to see information from Google Search. I'm sorry, yeah, Google Search Console is represented here on the left. Google Analytics is represented on the right. Each of these two products, first of all, you should know about them. Google Search Console talks about how computers and search engines see your site. Google Analytics talks about how people see your website. So I like to look at the numbers side by side because if I just go look at one set of numbers and then go look at the other set of numbers, I'm old and forgetful. I won't see how they talk to each other. I like having them side by side so I can see how they talk to each other. Okay, so what we're looking at here is for Texas Pride Realty. In the last month, which was February, we had 132,000 impressions, meaning we showed up as a relevant search result in 132,000 searches on Google. We showed up as a relevant search result 132,000 times. Out of that, 717 users clicked on that search result and came to our site. Okay, so think of this again as an open house. Let's say your website is an open house that runs 24/7. In the last month, we put out 132,000 open house signs that we own. This is organic traffic. This is not paid traffic. So we put out 132,000 open house signs and got 717 drivers to turn the car and come to our website. Okay, now let me scroll down gently here and show you that our Google business page brought in an additional 70. So we'll talk about Google business profile in a bit. Out of that 717, that's included in this 39,714 number. So 717 is part of this 39,740. Now, that's the total number of users who came to our site in the month of February 2025. They came back to our site multiple times because there were 49,915 sessions. Okay, now a user can have multiple sessions. So in open house terms, that person who came to your open house can come through the front door multiple times. They may go out to their car and come back in. Okay, so 49,915 sessions. And you'll see here on the graph that the majority of those were direct traffic, then the organic social, then organic search. I will admit that in February, we had two major spikes that were unusual. Unusual traffic that could have been a property that was drawing a lot of attention. It could be, something that on the internet, things came through unusually. So you'll see that our numbers are elevated, and I'm admitting up front that this is an unusual circumstance. So 39,740 users came in 49,915 times. While they were on our site, they looked at 498,000 things. So while they were at our open house, they looked at 498,000 items in the house. Open drawers, walked in the backyard. In the open house metaphor, this is how many things they looked at. So when you're looking at Google Search Console and Google Analytics, lay the numbers beside each other and look at the total data rather than just looking at one at a time and not understanding how they interact. The other thing I like to do is I look at our Google business profile. Now, this is how many times people went to our business profile and clicked on the link and came to our site. This is total number of impressions. So in February, we got 1,181 impressions. February is a slightly shorter month. I'm not upset that that number is slightly less than the previous month that had 31 days. Okay. These next two graphs talk about impressions on desktop search and on mobile search. because you know that on Google Search Console, on Google Business Profile, you can show up as the search snippet or you can show up in maps. So this is talking about how many times we showed up in the search snippet. These two graphs here talk about how many times we showed up in Google Maps. I'm using my Real Geeks website and I'm taking URLs. Let's say I want Buda, Texas homes between 200 and 400,000. I would take this URL. I would go to my Google Business Profile, write a quick update about homes in Buda, Texas at this price point, and use this URL. Okay, so Real Geeks gives you the ability to grab URLs and go blog about them. This is what's called a query string URL. Okay, think of it this way. We're gonna run a sandwich shop now. We're switching from clothing. We're gonna open a sandwich store, and I'm gonna take the order, and you're gonna make the sandwich. And I'm gonna write down on the order: bread equals white, cheese equals Swiss, meat equals ham, pickle equals true, onion equals false. You're gonna know to make a ham sandwich on white bread with no onion and with a pickle and with Swiss cheese. No matter where I put that order, you're going to know exactly how to fill the order. In this case, we're going to be able to say city equal Buda. Price minimum equals 200,000. I'm sorry, 20,000. And then price maximum equals 400,000. So when we make this, we're able to show people exactly what the order is. Exactly what the order is, because it's right there in the query string URL. Other products from other vendors don't give you this ability, or it's written in code that is really hard to understand. There'll be extra ASCII characters in the string. There'll be, jumbled up information that you can't read logically, in just plain English. Other sites also do, instead of city equal Buda, they'll have city equal, some code. Now that code does not relate to the zip code. It doesn't relate to anything. That company decided that this city in Buda, Texas equals this number. To do this sort of work in their system, you'll have to go figure out all the numbers for all the cities. And part of the reason I think they do that is every state has a Columbia or a Columbus. Okay, that's, I think, the most popular phrase or city name in the United States. So maybe they're doing it for the reason that they have to designate one versus the other. But in Real Geeks, you would just add state equal Texas, state equal TX, city equal Buda. It's that simple. And so their strategy here is much more user-friendly and much easier for us to do SEO work, because the more blogs we put out, the better. The more blogs we put out, the more people come to our site. Those are open house signs that we're putting up to draw people back to our site. So having a URL structure that we can blog about is incredibly important. So the last thing I want to touch on here, and I know I've covered a lot of confusing things, is forced sign-in. Okay, when you go to one of these websites, you want to be sure that people are being made to sign in. If they're not, you don't know what's happening. Okay, some people, well, I don't like to sign into other people's websites, or the IDX provider doesn't permit me to do forced sign-in, which there's a couple that don't. There's also IDX providers that will say, forced sign-in is a bad thing. We're not going to permit you to do it. If they like you, they'll sign in and ask for your help. That's bogus. That's absolutely bogus. Again, let's say we're running that clothing store and we have all of our shirts on display and we have everything out. We're going to let people steal 3 shirts and hope that they pay for the 4th one. Okay, we're going to be out of business. If they can look at 3 properties and have to sign in on the 4th, they've stolen 3 properties from you. You need to know who they are right away. And if they're not going to sign in, they should bounce off our website and go somewhere else. We are getting a significant number of sign-ins per month. We get a significant number of organic, and we do have a Google ad, but our organic is about 60-70% of our business each month. We get a significant number of people signing in. So when somebody says, well, that doesn't work, I'm going to just say that's BS, because we get it every month. You have to force sign in. If you don't do that, you're not owning your business. Anyway, I'm Bob McCraney. I will have more tips later. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.